Everybody know, man. I'm still a supporter of Earl Spence, but I'm not supporting him as long as he's ducking Terrence Crawford. I can't support nobody that's impeding big fights. Just get that out the way. His fight style and everything else, I still is a fan of his fight style. I think he got one of the most unique fight styles in boxing right now. Coming forward, going to the body, lot of good jab, lead hand action, setting traps, and all that good stuff that I like. Catch and shoot, like that type of style. But the ducking shit, I can't fuck with the ducking shit. But this fight ain't about that. This fight is about Chumpside making a living off of making a living off of talking shit about making a living off of Earl Spence fans. This motherfucker is him and a few other people actually spent the truth. How did he spend the truth? How did it all of a sudden seem like Crawford is ducking Earl Spence? When this man been showing up at this man fights, calling this man, trying to get this man in the ring, doing everything, following this man all over the South, all over the Midwest, following this man everywhere he go, just because he say he's not going to continue to chase somebody that don't want to fight him, he's ducking. Just because he don't want to get paid, underpaid in the biggest fight of his career, that means he's ducking. Earl Spence is using it as a diversion. If Terrence Crawford say, I'll take the 70-30, Earl Spence going to come up with another excuse. The guy not trying to fight right now. Then as soon as he get past August, it's going to be a mandatory. Then after that, it's going to be something else. One of my horses got sick. I got to stay home and watch my horses. And my daughter, I need a babysitter for my kids and all this type of shit. It's going to be a whole bunch of shit. Same thing, it was going to be an injury. Oh, I had a long night at the bar with me and my homeboys and all that type of shit. Me and my homeboys, Easy Mo B and all these other motherfuckers got into a drinking contest and I can't fight right now. It's a whole bunch of dumb excuses, man. And this motherfucking and it's fans. That's the sad part about it, man. It's fans out here actually believe that Terrence Crawford don't want to fight. When Earl Spence told you out his own mouth, why is he coming to my fights? I thought he said he's tired of chasing me down, so won't he just go away? I don't want to fight him. So just because he's another thing, I was talking to this guy, man. I'm just talking on the phone to this guy, man. Shout out to Florida. This nigga live in Florida, man. He made a good point on Earl Spence's part, right? And I said, look, why Crawford say he don't need Earl Spence as his legacy? And I had to break it down to the guy 3 times. I said, if you know somebody don't want to fight you, right? You know you're doing everything to get the fight, and it's more than likely this fight may never happen. So Terrence Crawford saying, hey, look, man, if I don't get this guy on my resume, don't mean that I had a shit career. It don't mean I'm not gonna go in the Hall of Fame. I might get a big. I still can get a big fight, some big fights out there. I'm only 33, 34 years old. People out there fighting in their 40s. I can get a couple of big fights. I keep myself in shape. I can get 3 or 4 big fights and retire. But I don't need Earl Spence. I don't need to keep chasing this guy down, kissing this guy's ass to get a fight. Do I think Earl Spence physically is scared of him? No. Do I think Earl Spence think he can't beat him? I believe there's doubts in his team. I believe somebody put doubts in his head. I believe he do have a little doubts because that big fight would have been made by them. That fight could have been over after the accident. It's a blessing that Earl Spence is able to continue to box. That fight could have been over, and it wouldn't have been Terrence Crawford's fault. Terrence Crawford prayed for this guy to get healthy and everything. He don't wish no ill will on Earl Spence, and even nobody else in their right mind wish harm on Earl Spence. Nobody wish harm on Earl Spence. We all are fans of all these guys that put their life on the line. I told everybody that had a pair of ears that can hear that I could have went pro in '94. I could have went pro in '94, but when I started training, I always was hurting, always was sore, and never could get it. I never could get it going. I'm always was hurting. I said I don't want to live a life where I'm always sore. I did the training. I know how to box my ass off, but it's a hard way to make a living, man. Y'all gotta be honest, man. You gotta give respect. We gotta shout out to these guys that can do it for a living on a high level. So I know that I didn't want to be sore my whole life. I'm talking about just sore, my toes, my ankles, my nose. Felt like I can take my nose off my face and shit. All kind of shit. That's a hard way to make a living. Shout out to those niggas, man. But I still just can't condone all that ducking and shit. Just come straight out and say, man, stop dicking the fans around, man. Stop dicking the fans around, man. This chump side is a bum. Making a living off of Earl Spence fans and lying to boxing fans, man. He's a bum. I'm right now making money every day for one day, $700 for one day, $725 in one day, $725 in one day. I don't need to monetize my channel. I don't need the scraps. I don't need the scraps, man. I could use it for something, for gas money and little shit like that, but I just don't need it, man. $725 for one day, man. I'm not Chumpside. I don't need it. I don't need it. Chumpside is a bum.